This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Let me turn down the TV a little bit. You can see the set a little bit more different than usual today. Moving in a little closer, having forgotten an HDMI cable that I normally use pretty heavily for these live streams in Cold Lake. So we are doing what we are doing this evening, having to get a little bit closer to the TV. That should either appear that I'm looking way further up or way lower in your screen this year or this game, and it looks like I'm looking way higher up. So that's unfortunate, but we'll make do with what we have and we'll battle through. But again, friends, welcome into the first Dolynny TV live stream in a while. Non U18 Female B Hockey Alberta Provincial Championship related. That said, it was a blast up there in Cold Lake. One of, if not the best times I've had broadcasting in a long while. I still look back to the U8 or the U21 fast pitch in Irma as per more than likely the best tournament I've ever called. But this one was a dang close one. Recoil, thank you so much for starting us off hot already today. If it's going to be one of those streams, don't mind me, as I think it's going to be nice to kind of recoup some of those costs of the meals in Cold Lake this weekend. You know, they've talked about for the past little bit how expensive eating out's gotten. Well, I got to find out this weekend, that is for sure. It was a very interesting time seeing just how expensive eating out is in Cold Lake at this point. And secondary too, just anything in general, even a coffee at Tim Hortons up there for a medium is about $1.98 as opposed to down here where it's $1.78. So you think about that 20-cent difference, it's quite unreal. But that's why some of those people up in Cold Lake get paid the big bucks, right? That's what I guess you could say, is there's a cost of living somewhere that beautiful, and most people are able to make it. So that's where we're at. And recall, are the Oilers, to answer your question, winning the Stanley Cup this year? I would absolutely think so. In my humble opinion, I've been pretty vocal about saying the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. That, I think, starts all the way back prior to the season getting underway. And I was going to do a video today simply saying the Oilers made the playoffs with this goaltending and that defense. And don't mind me, I might still do that video at some point this week. But it's just kind of a little poke fun at everybody along the way that said, no, can't do it with this defense and that goaltending. And here we are, steps away from getting started in the NHL playoffs, I believe, starting April 17th, when tickets will become impossible to get in oil country from everything I've heard. I mean, it'll be a lucky day if somebody offers me up a ticket to go to the Rogers Place in the Heart of Ice District. If somebody has a ticket to offer me up, it's going to be crazy. Again, pardon if I'm a little slow on the uptake today on this stream, just because it's going to be a very tough go, obviously, having done all that stuff up in Cold Lake over the past weekend here. Didn't sleep very well last night, as I was telling the story to somebody at work today. It was a wild ride in my sleep last night. Perhaps one of the worst nightmares I've had in, I want to say, ages, to be honest with you. I could actually, I had such a bad nightmare, I could feel my body jostling, is the best word I could say to describe it, while I was fully in the dream. So that unreal kind of feeling, but I was shook. I was shook up real good when I woke up about 3:45 this morning, and I needed a good sleep last night. That's the only reason I'm telling you that. I needed a good sleep last night, and I did not fully get one. Terry, the Oilers need a win in regulation, but the other two scenarios favor Kings. Also, regulation win will show dominance over Kings going in. Well, here's the thing. A regulation win is huge, and realistically the only option, because the Kings play the Golden Knights next game. So you let any points get away from here, and essentially the Kings are going to be able to walk into either first place, or you really have to face an uphill battle to get into second. So that's kind of the toughest part here. Is, as I said, I 2 weeks ago I doubted the Oilers would win the Pacific Division. You look at the kind of update we have today, with the Knights up at 103, the Kings at 100, and just knowing what could happen tonight if we don't finish it off, it's kind of scary to think, yeah, you know what, Second place is about as best as we can finish, and that's not me being negative. That's just kind of being realistic on the situation. And I know everyone always tells me I've got my heads in the cloud, and then as soon as I'm realistic, everyone's got their heads in the cloud. I can't pick a winning side, but it's kind of tough at this point to try and figure out exactly how good of realistic chance the Oilers have at first place in the Pacific. We've helped ourselves along, but at some point you got to lose a game in regulation here over the past several games, and tonight would be a really bad one to do as such. And um, Terry, you're hoping Oilers over Kings, then Oil in the conference, then Oilers versus the Leafs. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what we've all been hoping for this season. Is realistically, I would take either the Leafs or Bruins in the Cup final, just because that would be a Cup final story for the ages kind of deal. So, obviously, if the Oilers could try and beat the Leafs in the Cup final, that would be Canada would never see another Cup final in my lifetime that good. I don't think. And I mean, speak too soon and see what happens. But that would be, I mean, every bar, every restaurant, every place that has a TV in all corners of Canada would have those games on. You want to talk about viewership for the Cup final? That would be viewership for the Cup final. That would be about as equivalent to getting Olympic hockey with NHL players on your TV nowadays as you would get. So, guess we'll see what comes of it, but it would be absolutely unreal to see something like that take part in the Cup final. But yeah, as you're seeing, pretty tired to start this one. An 8:30 puck drop probably doesn't help the case so much, but we'll try and survive. You guys all got a taste of the play-by-play live there the other day, and actually I'm out of sync, I imagine. I just realized I would be out of sync on the audio, so pardon me for that off the hop. If you're watching back on the replay, I do apologize. Let back to 0-0, and we should be suddenly good to go. There you go. You should see me hit in sync now, and we should be a little bit better off with the call now. So that's where we find ourselves. Trust me, today water tastes real dang good, I can tell you that much. And what do we know about this Oilers Kings game? I guess that's what you're asking me to find out, isn't it? This Oilers Kings game, if I can get this rocking and rolling, it's officially go time for the Seattle Kraken. That's fine and dandy that you get to start earlier, but where are we at? The Oilers have Stuart Skinner starting in net. As expected, starts versus LA. That's a huge get for us, obviously, in a big game. What else do we got? I don't think there's anything else that we need to see because we're looking for the lineups and I'm not seeing them quite yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing the lineups, so I don't know if I missed things this morning, but nothing major as of yet. Let me see. Bob Stauffer would be my man, I think. Tony Brar would be one of my men. I don't know who would have it this morning. Tony Brar, 9 hours ago, April 3rd, so he doesn't have it. Does Tony Brar have it? Obviously, being at Morning Skate, probably does. And I am not seeing anything. Nothing here. Yeah, no, Tony's in. Yeah, nothing. Okay, so that's what we know. A whole bunch of nothing to start this live stream over this Oilers team. So bear with me. We'll have to go in blind and read the lines just as soon as the game gets up and underway this afternoon, this evening. Again, timelines are scrambled. The times of days are all screwed up because of that trip up in Cold Lake, sorry. And Darcy, who are the goalies playing in Bakersfield? It's Calvin Pickard and Ollie Rodrigue. I know it's Olivier Rodrigue, but they've taken to calling him Ollie down there. Ollie Rodrigue in net for the Condors. Brian, good evening. As we are just getting things started here, I'm trying to start at a little bit slower pace so as maybe I can last the full night. No promises. When you know it's bedtime, I'll know it's bedtime very well. It could be interesting to see what comes away with this one here this afternoon, or this evening. It'll be crazy to think if I go the entire length of the game, that is for sure. As we are, about 25 minutes away from puck drop. I assume it'll be an 8:37 puck drop this evening, so we should be pretty close to things getting underway. The broadcast obviously will start up about 8:30, but we're still a good reason away from things getting fully underway. I want to again thank Recoil there from throwing down things early on there, and obviously too just everybody tuning in to the chat, giving me somebody to talk to here early on. I really appreciate that, because as you see, it's going to be a long haul tonight. Like I was saying to everybody that was in the chat earlier, I know we're up to 32 now. We were averaging about 17 a few minutes ago, so we've doubled up. That sleep I got first night back in bed after being up in Cold Lake all week, not so great. Obviously, probably one of the worst nightmares I've had in a long, long while. And woke up at 3:40 in the morning, and I was hurting. So we'll see how long I can last tonight. No promises on how long we go, but we'll see what ends up coming out of it. Miles Angels, welcome in, and Brian, to your comment, get a Red Bull in me. Here's one fun fact about me that I don't share much. Kind of like, probably, to be honest with you, the McDonald's fries thing I'm on too. I have not had an energy drink since I was in 7th grade. It was a trip to go watch an Oilers game, and I remember drinking that. I went with my dad, and he was like, "You can have anything you want to drink on the way there," and I chose this yellow Monster energy drink, and it was just, the most disgusting thing I think I'd ever had in my life. I drank Monster quite heavily there in 7th grade for some reason. It was a cool thing to do at that point. There was a 7-Eleven down the street from our middle school, but that was kind of where we found ourselves. And no, I haven't had another energy drink since. And to kind of couple that with since 7th grade, I haven't had McDonald's fries since 7th grade. So there you go. If you're in the stream, you get a couple of fun ones to have there. And Mike, you're hoping for the Preds. That would obviously be because of the NHL standings. You're just cheering for the Preds, so as the Flames don't make it. I don't know what the full story would be there, but yeah, hopefully that bottom end of that second wildcard spot continues to be really fun down the stretch here, because it's been a blast to see them so far. All those 5 teams are so mixed up, trying to battle it out for the final wildcard spot. Angels, to your side, what's my prediction tonight? I really don't have a prediction. I just need the Oilers to win in regulation. I think we hashed that out earlier in the stream. Is a big win in regulation here goes a long dang ways to trying to do what we're doing. For the standings, beat Vegas. Oh, they're in action against Vegas right now? I guess that would make sense. I didn't know they were playing Vegas. I haven't actually checked at the scoreboard today. I've just checked the standings and stuff like that. So we'll get to the scoreboard. It's 2-2 for the Predators and Golden Knights. 12 minutes to go in the 3rd period. So again, this time of year, anything to do with the Predators, Flames, Wild, Avalanche, Jets. I think there's one other team I'm forgetting somewhere in there in the other side of the division. There's a whole bunch that everything kind of compounds onto itself right now. Obviously, the Kings and Knights play each other on Thursday, as I was just mentioning, so there's a bunch that's really not so good right now for the Oilers, and really finishing first in the Pacific, or finishing second even for that matter. And it's actually, the Dallas Stars who I was forgetting, but pretty much the Western Conference is the Oilers if they win the Pacific Division. That's the really fun part here. And you look at it too, every team entering tonight has 77 games played with 5 games to go. Each team a maximum of 10 points available to grab, and the Oilers trail the Knights by 4. So the Oilers realistically, if the Knights go 3-5, have to win all 10 of their games to force obviously the tiebreak situation. So that's where we're at right now. So yeah, Terry, if the Oilers are losing, I'll suddenly be tired. That is pretty much exactly where I'll leave it tonight. If there isn't an opportunity to go to bed early, I will go to bed early. Don't you worry about that. I will take care of myself first instead of putting myself through the mental anguish and potentially, hopefully, help the Oilers win, because I know the Oilers have won 2 or 3 games here in the past few weeks on nights when I've gone to bed without even watching the game. I think that Arizona game and that Vegas game as well. So, or not that Vegas game. There was another game. Sorry, there was an 8:30 game. Arizona, was it Arizona and Arizona both nights? I think it might have actually been Arizona and Arizona both nights. So, yeah, that's kind of the fun part here. If the Oilers find a way to win tonight after I go to bed, that would be an A+ thing as well. But as we're getting underway tonight, friends, as we're getting underway, I don't have starting lineups, Koj, unfortunately, and secondary too. It is, as Recoil replied to your question there, Scout. It is Stuart Skinner getting the start for the Oilers. So another big game for Stewie, and hopefully another big victory for the Edmonton Oilers this evening. That would go a long ways in the standings, like we've already just discussed. So that's where we're at. I can double check for the lines here in a brief moment. Give me just a second to see if there's anything we can do here. And these tie games are fun and all, but they have us stressed out, the Golden Knights are saying. And the Edmonton lineups during warm-ups, 12 forwards and 7D on the ice, so read into that what you will. RNH, McDavid, Hyman, Kane, Draisaitl, Yamamoto, Fogle, Bjugstad, Janmark. That's your lines right there for the top 9. Costin, Shore, and Ryan. So read into who will be out of the lineup here. I think if you're going for who might be out, obviously with no McLeod, you're either seeing Shore or Ryan come out, maybe Costin. Costin seems like a pretty likely link as well to come out. But again, who realistically knows with what Jay Woodcroft does night to night with the 11-7. And secondary to that too, Nurse Cece, Ekholm, Bouchard, Kulak, Desharnais, and Broberg is on the ice for warm-up, so keep tuned. We'll find out here shortly. Roger, welcome in. And just to give you guys an idea of what the Oilers are up to in the goaltending department, here's the craziest part of all this, right? We're absolutely running the goalies into the ground here based on how terrible they have been to public eye perception. We now record back-to-back shutouts, and I don't think it's being talked about enough in my honest opinion. But you look at this here, Stuart Skinner, 25 wins, 14 losses, 5 OT losses, 128 goals against in 13 games more than Jack Campbell, and only given up 14 more goals. A 289 goals against average, a 911 save percentage in 2,662 minutes. And for Jack Campbell, 20 wins, 9 losses, 4 overtime losses, a 348 goals against average, and an 886 save percentage. So you think about that, right? For as bad of a season as Jack Campbell has had, that's the crazy thing. As bad of a season, he's operating at 886, and there's quite a chance if the goaltender we saw against the Ducks in the win there in the shutout style, if that's the goaltender that plays the last couple games of the season when we've secured our spot, whether we can no longer win the division, whatever the case might be, if that's the goaltender that we get in those last 1 or 2 games, there is a potential he raises his save percentage up right close to that 889, 890 save percentage, and that's not by far worst in the NHL this season as far as I last checked. So keep that in mind. In secondary too, how crazy is it that with a goaltender that has those kind of numbers, and the Oilers have only played 3 goalies all season, including one of the three only playing 2 minutes and 26 seconds in the year. Well, how crazy is it that the Oilers have the record they do, right? 45 wins on the season, and you've kind of got like Stuart Skinner's numbers are average, right? They're not elite, they're average. Jack Campbell's numbers are bottom of the barrel, and the Oilers have 45 wins out of their three goaltenders this season. That's absolutely insane. So that's a huge get for us, and obviously, right, bodes very well for what we're trying to do down the stretch here, going into the playoffs and trying to win some playoff games. So here we go, friends. We've just hit 50 viewers on the stream, and unlike those whatchamacallem, U18 streams, there will be ads during the game. Bear with me. Got to get paid somehow. But we're just about ready for things to get underway here on Sportsnet in a matter of moments. As Roger, I think you've gotten it going. Brian, young fellow like me, should be able to make it through the game. Yeah, problem is I tuck her out pretty easy. I go too hard during my days, I think, and I think just I don't know if I just don't have the right mix of vitamins and stuff in me or what, but or maybe I'm just too caffeine dependent. That might be the toughest part there, to be honest with you. And Mike, you've heard the same lines as last game against LA. I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, they were very, um, very impactful, and obviously what the Oilers did against LA was very phenomenal. Roger, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. And what else do we got? I don't think I've missed anything else here. Darcy, can't see Costin being out with how feisty the Kings have been playing well and how feisty the Kings could be playing. I've seen a lot of comments from Kings fans sent to me from our Bakersfield Condors insider there saying kind of the Kings fans want blood against Connor McDavid for what he did to Mikey Anderson. So we'll see if any retribution starts coming the Oilers' way here this evening. That could be really interesting. And Lamb Chop, good evening. Welcome aboard. Glad to see you. And Thigh, welcome in as well. Go Oilers. I can echo those sentiments all day, as we should be in and ready for a good rest of the stream here, friends. I'm going to take a last second bio break, refill the water, and we'll get back to action here in a matter of moments. If you're in the chat, haven't left a like yet, we're at 19. If you could do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. And friends, you know that subscribe ad is coming right here, right now. We'll be underway in a few moments' time. Thanks for being aboard. All right, let's get this thing up and actually underway, my friends. The subscribe ad going down. That's the Sportsnet scoreboard. Whoopity doopity. There we go. Subscribe ad going down. Let's get to it. Hockey time here this after. Oh man, I forgot my water. I'm in. Aye. I honestly can't imagine what some of you think when you see me come back down and without the water in my hand. Oh, he knows exactly what he's about to find out. Anyway, friends, we are just a few moments away from puck drop here between the Oilers and the Kings. A huge, and I mean huge, matchup between the Oilers and Kings this afternoon. Oh my goodness, I just got sent a hilarious photo of Kyler Yamamoto. That is fantastic. But yeah, we're just a few moments away from puck drop between these two teams. And as long as you don't know who it's for, we should be in for a good game. And let me just reply to this email here. Um, just give me a sec. Sorry, lots of stuff going on around here. Um, Perfect. Good to go. Let's rock and roll, my friends. We are hitting that 8:30 magical mark. It's 8:29 on my clock right now. As we get underway, Ryan, what a loss for the Pens, 5-1. Yeah, that is going to sink them a little bit here. I believe they're still a point back, but there's still some stuff going on that could sink their season and snap that 16-year playoff streak that they've got going on. Andrea and Flipperdo, welcome in. Stony as well with the big Let's Go Oilers. We are getting the regular cast and crew together to run it back for what will be a very important stream tonight. Now, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that tuned in and stuck with Patrick and I during the last LA Kings stream over on the Oilers Fanatic. That was a very, very tough stream to try and handle because obviously we were testing the audio and running through some stuff for the tournament that night, and we ended up indeed kind of running into a little bit of issues there at one point, but you guys were phenomenal sticking with us and of course getting the job done throughout what was a very successful stream and a very successful game for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously that Evander Kane goal was a beauty, got us going, and then now we just have to see what the Oilers do the rest of the way here. As that Connor McDavid goal was top notch, and we'll see what happens here the rest of the way this evening against the Kings. But we're just about ready and underway for this one. We've got the pregame highlights coming through, and they're showing that Connor McDavid goal a million times over. The Kings stuff, that absolute phenomenal scramble in the crease there from Stuart Skinner, the post that saved the game, and then just making those big saves as Matthias Ekholm and everyone kind of crashed in. I'm still seeing number 14 in the crease and calling him Devon Shore, but that was a massive win for the Oilers. They followed it up with a massive win against the Anaheim Ducks, and obviously won a massive game against the Vegas Golden Knights. Just so you know, right, we're getting into this one tonight, but just to understand what the Oilers have put together over the past 5 games, because you know what we're rolling? We're rolling 4-0-1. There's a reason we are where we are right now, right? A 6-0 win, a 2-0 win, a 7-4 win, a 5-4 win, and a 4-3 OT loss, going back to that Vegas Golden Knights game, of which, right, you saw how disappointed I was after that one. Crushed off the stream almost immediately and went to bed. But the big thing for the Oilers here is the goal differential is now plus 50, and only the Dallas Stars are ahead of us in that category in the Western Conference. So for a team that gives up a lot of goals, we've all of a sudden started outscoring our problems quite heavily. Morley, welcome in, and I think we are good to go. Andrea, don't tell me you just cursed it. Either we're about to watch the Oilers rock that, or we're about to watch the Oilers give up 3 in the first 3 minutes. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but Connor McDavid can't believe he got that penalty still. And it's going to be interesting to see what comes the rest of the way in this hockey game. Obviously, like I said, there are Kings fans out there calling for blood against Connor McDavid tonight, so we'll see if that comes from the hockey players on the ice in the Kings uniforms. Doubt it, but of course, right, is you just never know. It's hockey. There's things said in the locker room, and things kind of turn out the way they do on the ice. And Darcy. But yeah, we're almost here, ready for puck drop. David Amber's talking with Jamal Myers on the panel right now, just trying to get this one queued up for us. Obviously, talking over the talking points for this evening's game. It's a very it'll be a very important game for the Oilers in terms of the standings. A regulation win here pretty much goes as far as any regulation win the rest of the way home this season, right? We've got five games to go. Tonight being game 5 of that 5, and essentially the LA Kings are a point ahead of us. The Vegas Golden Knights are 4 points ahead of us entering tonight. They're in action against the Nashville Predators. If they get something done against the Preds, we're uphill battling. And actually they did. They got a point out of Nashville. Still 1 remaining on the board. It's end of 3 regulation periods between the Knights and Predators. They're headed to overtime. And that is about as worst case scenario as it possibly can get for the Oilers A and B, the Flames. That is just a bad beat right there twice over, with those 2 teams going to the extra frame. That really sucks. Obviously, when you look at the standings too in the Pacific and the wild card, it's a real tough go, right? Like I already explained the Oilers situation, but down in the cellar there, Winnipeg at 89, Calgary at 87, Nashville at 85 after this game, or 86 with a game on hand on both. So I was doing the math with a Flames fan at work today and saying, guys, I don't know why you are giving up yet. There is a plenty of potential for this team to go out there and get a victory as of yet. They just simply have to do it, and it'll be interesting to see if they indeed do it here. So that's where it's at, friends. And yeah, that's where we're at. We're just going to see what happens. But JD, what time is it streaming live on 8:30 or on Sportsnet? 8:30. So it's already started being broadcast with the David Amber and Jamal Myers panel, but it'll be 8:30. Stoney, I will warn you when it is 4.20 in the stream here in a matter of moments, because I know I've made mention of that a few times over the past several streams. It's just a fun little add-in for my friends who, of course, do partake. So there you go. But we're up to 90 viewers live here in the stream, friends. Thank you so much for tuning into the pregame. We don't usually get 90 people into the pregame here on Dolynny TV, but thank you for being a part of that. If you enjoyed everything, the incoherent rambling at best, definitely leave a like. But Jack Michaels and Gene Principe and Louis DeBrusque take to the airwaves live from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, the former Staples Center. They did the name change, I think, mid-season. And Andrew, you're tuning in from Lloydminster. Didn't get a chance to go down to Lloydminster, but it looks like Gene Principe will get the pregame intro underway with quite an interesting start to it. And we'll see what the Oilers can do this evening. I don't know why I've been saying this afternoon. I think it's still stuck quite heavily in my head from the gold medal game during the U18s there. But just to say, right, the Oilers need to stick to the script here. The Knights have 4 games remaining with 104 points. So the Oilers 5 points back with a game in hand. They can get to 101, then be 4 points back. They can get it rocking and rolling. Roger, yeah, it's 9:30 in Manitoba. Yeah, folks out east of Saskatchewan are in for quite a late night tonight. I do apologize for keeping you up, but hey, at least hopefully the Oilers get it going. And you're tuning in from Costa Rica, Francois. Well, I appreciate you tuning in from what is perhaps the most beautiful country I'll ever end up traveling to in my life. Spent some time there in high school, and it is a fantastic country out there, and obviously would love to go back one of these days. But friends, we are just about ready for this Edmonton Oilers game to get underway, as they're going to go do take 14 here between Gene Principe and the media crew here as Crazy Acorns coming in with an 11:30 start out. I imagine that would be in Atlantic Canada if I'm not mistaken, as it's quite a crazy start time for, of course, a Tuesday night game. Like I said, I'm going to try and take us through the whole game, try and get a good night's sleep by really tuckering myself out this evening. But again, we'll see what ends up coming from it. Jordan, welcome into the stream as well. Seen a bunch of folks tuning in this evening, but yeah, no, it's been a fantastic start to the stream, and I can only hope the Oilers deliver the goods the rest of the way home, to be honest with you. It's always the hardest part about starting the stream hot, is you want to finish hot too. And obviously in overtime, as much as I'd love to see 400 or 500 viewers live at once in the stream, I'd love to just watch I'd love to watch the Oilers just win in regulation and get the job done. That would be phenomenal if they could. And tuning in from PEI, and right there, see, I'm starting to get used to my time zones. I can generally actually book what time it is in like a place like Germany or France nowadays too. So I know pretty well what time it is in the east coast of New Zealand. So keep in mind, if our friends from New Zealand and Australia come on by, we'll make sure to talk them up quite a bit. But as we're getting going here, we've got the heroes of the game for the LA Kings, and then we'll get things rocking and rolling here for everything between the Oilers and Kings. But it looks like we'll have a ceremonial puck drop at center ice. So again, another situation where an 8:40 game doesn't start until 8:50. That hurts. That hurts. And Roger, yes, indeed, it was a big, long weekend up in Cold Lake this weekend, and we'll see if indeed it ends up costing me any sleep the rest of this week. It's already cost me a pretty rough sleep last night, but we'll see if we can survive a little bit of action tonight, and then tucker myself out, get a really good sleep, get up, go to work, and crush it off. And you know what? That's the nice part. I don't really go too hard on the calls when I'm up in Cold Lake, and there was actually a lot of spacing between games this year. I will say that way, because I think at times between those Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening games, it was a very very long time to try and just keep focus, keep awake, and keep going. But we did the job and we got it done. And JD, am I on the East Coast? No, I'm out here in southern Alberta, just on the acreage, enjoying things quite well. So on that Alberta time, and that guy's got some tacos in the stands. I could go for some tacos right about now. Wouldn't be a bad time getting me some good spicy beef meat, and get me some good Tex-Mex cheese, and we can have a pretty good time. And Brian coming in with the Newfoundland time. Yeah, it's 12:10 in Newfoundland. This game's starting tomorrow. Puck drops tomorrow in Newfoundland. That is crazy to think about. If anyone is tuning in from Newfoundland this evening, tonight, this night, definitely thank you. Tune in. But as we get going, yeah, Scott, you're not wrong about LA being pretty stupid for this 8:40 start. Actually, we're going to get underway past 8:45 this evening. Um, yeah, this is it's crazy to think how late this game's starting on an 8:50 puck drop thereabout between the Oilers and Kings. I don't understand how back-to-back weeks it feels like we can end up having that happen on a weeknight, but I guess that's the NHL scheduling, and I guess to say it best, we better get used to it here as we're back, booked our ticket to the playoffs, and you would be kidding me if the Oilers and Kings don't start at 8:50 if we're playing back-to-back playoff games in LA, game 3 and 4 or games 1 and 2. And I guess that would be the only big difference between the Oilers and Kings from last year is if the Kings this season have home ice advantage. And crazy Acorn Vegas lost in OT. Yes, that was about as best of a result as you're going to get as soon as that game went to OT. But we survived and we got it done. And they have got some pretty cool camera angles here in LA. That's one thing that we had very good capabilities for in our live streams up from Cold Lake, especially during the gold medal game. We had 4 camera angles going. It was fantastic to see just what we were capable of in Cold Lake this past weekend. And if anybody has gotten the chance to tune in or you want to go back and review the footage, I will tell you it was amazing to be a part of those broadcasts that are live from Cold Lake. And I hope to do it again soon, here sometime soon. Brian, you used to watch the St. John's Maple Leafs back in the day. That's going back a ways. I think there was at a point too a St. John's Oilers team. So we'll see if that if St. John's ever gets another crack at hosting an AHL squad. I know they have the ECHL Newfoundland Growlers and stuff, but now we'll have puck drop here at center ice, ceremonial puck drop. So, like I said, it's going to be a situation where we have a late puck drop this evening, but we'll battle through. And great hockey plus Stony and Spruce Grove. All right. Cool, we are just about ready for puck drop here. Like I said, it's just taking its time. It's going to be one of those late starts. My apologies. If I could control it, we would have started about 7:30 this evening. Connor McDavid lining up with Anze Kopitar for the ceremonial puck drop. And just to give you an idea, as the pregame comes to an end, friends, what we were able to achieve to begin this live stream. We've been live about 43 minutes so far, and we are at 37.7 hours watched on the stream, so we are well on our way to doing something pretty phenomenal this evening on this live stream. And obviously, again, I want to thank, before we get underway, everybody that tuned in to Patrick and I's live stream over on the Oilers Fanatic this past week up in Cold Lake. That was fantastic to see everybody in there, and obviously, too, fantastic the Oilers got the result they did against this very same Kings team we will face tonight. Philip, the big news tonight is Vegas losing in OT to the Nashville Predators, a game that really couldn't afford to go that way, but it did, and that's what we got out of it. Phoenix Copley, 24-4-3 this season, 267 goals against average, and a 901 save percentage. And here we go, Kopitar versus McDavid in the face-off dot as we get underway here. And puck's won back by the Oilers, off to Cody Ceci on the near side. He'll fire it into the Kings zone, dump it on down deep off of a bounce. Not nice and call against the Oilers, and that's an unusual way to start the hockey game, to be quite honest with you. And Derek Ryan out there starting this hockey game with Klim Kostin and Connor McDavid, so obviously that means, I think, Devon Shore is out of the lineup. 9:35 to go, and there you go. There is that first icing call against the Oilers to begin this one. Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, your top line tonight. Kane, Draisaitl, Yamamoto, your second line. Fogle, Bukestad, Janmark, your third line, which means, yes, indeed, Kostin and Ryan are your fourth line grinders this evening, and here's the puck in behind the Oilers net. They're trying to work it out to the blue line. That will escape the zone and come out in the middle of the ice. And what do we have here? Do we have a fight, or is Klim Kostin hurt? And they blew the play dead because Kostin can't get up. He can't move his thigh for some reason, or his hips hurting him. And Kostin is down, and he can't seem to be moving out there on the ice. So this is already a bad start to the hockey game. I don't think it's a head injury by any means. He's not down on the ice spinning, so hopefully he can get up here. Obviously, maybe just a tweak in the hip or something, but he is hurting for good measure, and he can't seem to get through to stand up. Now he will, and he'll get off the ice, as the Kings don't really, Kings crowd doesn't really give him much of an applause for that one from what I'm hearing on the broadcast here, but he goes into the boards and goes down, and looks like he might have tore something as he just makes contact there. And yeah, I don't know if it's his elbow or if it's what ended up happening there. As he's back on the bench, shook up but not too hurting. And of course, Klim Kostin leads the Oilers in hits this season with 141. So we loved when he came aboard with the Oilers, and you don't want to see that guy injured at all. The Oilers, though, win the ensuing face-off. They bat it back down into the Kings' end. Phoenix Copley out to play it. He'll rim it off the glass, and Connor McDavid disrupts the puck. Gets it in front. Oh, my goodness, what a chance there. Zach Hyman threw it in front for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but the shot just couldn't make it through. And this one is going to go back to the Kings defense, where they will play it a couple of ways out of the zone, and leading through the neutral is Anze Kopitar. He can't get it cleanly through, and now the Oilers defense forces the Kings back last second, and we will have a penalty against the Oilers for a holding call. And my goodness, is Kyler Yamamoto's hair getting long at this point? I know I saw that photo that was sent to me earlier, but Yamo's hair is getting flowy. And they're going to nail Matthias Ekholm for a hold right there. Yeah, that's fair game. That's a hold right there. And buck 19 to go. The Oilers take the first mistake of the hockey game to the box. 18:41 remaining in this first period of play, with 2 minutes on the power play for the Kings. The Oilers penalty kill now improved up to 21st in the NHL. That is incredible considering we're in the basement all year. This one far side. Kings can't complete the pass as it bounced off the stick. Now back to the near side. Dot shot fired save. Skinner 93-mile-an-hour one-timer for Victor Arvidsson, with a buck 40 remaining here in this power play for the LA Kings, as this one's going to go back into the zone for the Kings. They'll move it in just briefly as the Oilers are able to gut it back into the neutral, and Kopitar will fire it off of the leg of Yamamoto into the Oilers zone as Darnell Nurse bangs it off the boards, gets it down the length and back into Phoenix Copley, who's out to play it just for his defenseman. The Oilers penalty kill 9-9 right now in the last 3 games, so hopefully that continues here this evening. But leading ahead, the Kings into the Oilers zone. Once again, poke checked off of the Kings stick, forced down to Stuart Skinner from the neutral zone dump, and that's kind of what we're going to expect this evening. Neutral zone dumps for both teams, dump and chase. That was the Oilers' key to success against the Kings last game, and they're going to work it to the middle low this time as Connor McDavid leads in. The one-timer whiffed on by Evander Kane. Back the other way, the Kings are going to transition rather quickly as they get to the attack here. Diving through to make the play was Quinton Byfield, I believe, wearing number 55 for the Kings. And this one to the near side now. Deneau will fire it across. Nice bumper pass over to the middle of the ice by the Kings to force it to the far side. 17:04 to go in the first period of play. A 0-0 game so far as the Oilers penalty killers doing a good job. And this one's going to be fired up off of a couple people in front, back to the blue line. The shot crushed on net, blocked in front, denied very quickly on the shot from Kaliev. The second shot he whiffs on the one-time opportunity, and that will pretty much do it here for this power play. The shot to the net, the save Skinner. The penalty officially killed with 16:40 remaining in this first period, and there we go. To agree with you, Homielander, it is a good penalty to take as we kill off the clock and obviously kill off the penalty right there. And Matthias Ekholm fully prevents a goal against on that play that ended up taking the hold and going to the box. And just to give you an idea here, Joshua, there isn't any footage of the game. Unfortunately, it is copyright, but I will have your play-by-play this evening for as long as I can possibly go on a Tuesday night on a lack of sleep over the past course of a week. 16 minutes to go here in the first period as Evan Bouchard carries through the middle. He'll fire it in, but the Oilers are offside at the Kings blue line with 3 seconds ticked into the last 16 minutes to go here. But as we get going, Salinas, should be a great matchup. I'm thinking it should be a very good matchup should the Oilers and Kings face each other in the first round of the playoffs. Like I said in a video a few days ago, that seems to be the likely outcome here between the Oilers and Kings in down this stretch, is that the Oilers and Kings will meet in the first round. Who has home ice advantage? The last 5 games of the season shall determine that. This one goes a long ways, if or win in regulation for the Oilers, in determining that as well. 15:48 to go. The puck's back on the Oilers' side of half as this one goes back in behind the Oilers' net and then forced back in front and out of the zone as the Oilers just punch it in. It's off the skates of a Kings player in their own zone. They quickly regain traction and get the puck going back the other way as they're trying their best to rock and roll here. 15:25 to go in this first period of play. Worked out of the zone by the Kings there. It hops off the stick of an Oilers and player in front and stays on the stick of Kempe. And officially, the Kings register the first shot of the game on a shot on Skinner that he handles rather easily. So the reason I suspect there will be a lot of dump and chase tonight between the Kings and Oilers is I believe there's been a lot made in the media about how successful the Oilers have been at dumping and chasing the past few games, and obviously stepping up the grinded out game over the past few nights here against some tougher opponents. So that's where we're sitting, but 15:12 to go here in this first period of play as the Oilers will again dump and chase into the near side corner. Crashing and banging is Klim Costin, forcing it free for Derek Ryan, who will try to get it going. Jay, welcome in. As we're getting things underway here in this first period, both teams just really feeling each other out. I mean, sure, did the Kings have a power play? Sure. Did it feel like a power play? Yeah, they crushed a couple pucks on net, but nothing too serious. And right now the shots sit at 1-0, almost 6 minutes into the game. So that's where we're at right now. As Darnell Nurse will play it to the near side. Cody Ceci fires it in around the boards, and the Kings able to cut it off there. This one escapes the zone, and here's Darnell Nurse caught, but he's going to get back to the middle, allow Cody Ceci to drive as he's driving right up the gut and right back into position. The Oilers bleed a chance, but immediately able to clear it out. And this one's going to go back down to the near side where Connor McDavid leads to the middle. The shot fired, bounces around a couple times in the slot, doesn't find the front of the net. And this is the problem. You're going to see some different line combinations this evening with the Oilers defense obviously having 7 members and the Oilers offense only having 11. Here's Connor McDavid leading it forward into the zone. Kyler Yamamoto gets into the attack. Connor McDavid's able to dump it back. The shot from Evan Bouchard goes wide of the net. So the Kings now with 2 shots and the Oilers still with none early on here in the first period. And it's not like the Kings have really dominated so far, as the Oilers have just kind of not gotten the offense started. And we'll see what happens when they do. It seems like one of those nights where the Oilers score the first goal of the game, but there's a shot from Kempe, bleeding another chance for the Oilers, but it goes wide of the net, and I don't think it officially registered, as Bukestad's got, I believe, who's number 55? Is that number 55 on the far side? Sorry, I thought 55 was Byfield for some reason. 13:12 to go here in this first period of play. The Oilers able to tip it back into the Kings zone, but it's back into Kings possession, and it's going to be chopped down the barrier by Kempe, who's had a great night of puck control so far. He's been able to handle the puck in the neutral zone on a couple of bad bounces a couple times over. Picking ahead is Kaliev into the zone and attacking. This one, 12:50 to go here in this first period of play. Worked into the middle behind the net now by Desharnais. Fogle will go far side over to the defense of Broberg. Worked ahead, batted in there by the Oilers in another game kind of situation where they just have to dump in and allow the Kings possession, as they don't want to get burnt after bleeding 2 chances here in the past 2 or 3 minutes. Shot fired on net by the Kings, blocked at the high point. now batted down again by the Kings, and there's going to be Kulak working it off the end boards to the far side and worked back, crushed on net. Big glove save. No, actually didn't even hit the glove, went over top of the net. And the Kings and Oilers, if they could hit the net with some shots here, would probably have 5 or 6 shots apiece. But so far, neither team really directing much of value or substance on the goaltenders. Stuart Skinner with 3 saves so far in this game, and that's the only action on the net for both teams, as this one's worked by Bjornfoot in the defensive zone for the Kings. It'll be worked now in the Oilers zone, down low to Evan Bouchard. 11:44 to go here in this first period of play, and so far things are looking all right for the Oilers. I'm not worrying about things too much, right? Like I said, I'm expecting dump and chase, and here's Evan Bouchard dragging in the middle. He had a shooting lane, couldn't fire the shot as he was being pressured from behind. And now Klim Kostin working in the middle. He can't get it going, can't be kept in at the blue line. And Kevin, welcome in, as this one's going to go in. 11:18 to go behind the net. Shot out of the zone there by the LA Kings. And we've got a first period whistle with 11:13 to go. And it's been an interesting start to this hockey game, which has seen the Oilers almost go shotless through the first period, or first half of this first period. You hear it in my voice. I'm a little hurting today, and as I can see, I guess I really did do a number on my side there last night, tossing and turning in bed. I have a sore spot in my ribs there, but like I said, last night didn't sleep so well. Obviously, after a long week up in Cold Lake, it was a rough week of sleep, and only getting about 5 hours for about 3 nights straight. And then unfortunately come home and had probably one of the worst nightmares I've had in a long while. Like, didn't even feel real that it was a nightmare. I'm not saying it felt like it was real life, just felt like, what in the heck is this? And woke up about 3:48, and I was sore from tossing and turning in my sleep. So should be a good sleep tonight, I'm hoping. And we should see it come together this evening. Jack, good evening. Tuning in, giving us the update on Devin Levi holding the Florida Panthers to 2 goals tonight, unfortunately. Not enough to beat said Florida Panthers. And that said, Riley, and who else has a pot of coffee in there? I saw the pot of coffee comment there, but yeah, Scott and Riley talking about the pot of coffee. Yeah, if I had a coffee machine in here at home, I'd be crushing off some coffee tonight. But just gonna crush some water, crush some hockey, and then crush off to bed here, given what the Oilers do going down the stretch. And as we're also here, Homelander, to give you an idea of what that dream was about, zombie demons. Literally, not demons and zombies, zombie demons. It was, holy moly, that was some next level stuff last night, and we'll see if that ends up happening 2 nights in a row. But that was, wow, like you could have sworn I was doing some substances before going to bed, just if you watched a replay of that one. 0-0 for the Oilers and Kings here in this first period of play as we get back underway from Crypto.com Arena. First period, no shots so far for the Oilers, and they're struggling to get the offense started here for sure, but not like the Kings have had much better. Obviously, the Oilers have given up 2 or 3 chances on net, but if the Oilers would just find a way to connect on a pass in front, it's really not the Kings doing a great job defensively so much as it's the Oilers missing passes in front of the net to try and get things on. So far would be my assessment of it. I don't know if it's a fair assessment, but that's kind of where we're at right now. And this one's going to be an icing call against the Edmonton Oilers with 10:35 to go. Like, that's the thing, right? The Oilers have bled 2 chances in this first 10 minutes, but the shots are only 3-0 for the Kings. So it's not like the Oilers are really getting handed down by the Kings. And obviously, yes, it's another big game between Todd McCullough and apprentice Jay Woodcroft, but yeah, it's an interesting sleep last night, I'll tell you that much. And the Oilers have trailed for a total of 2 minutes and 2 seconds during their 4-game winning streak so far. And is that really a franchise record? Gretzky and Co. never had 13 or 14 wins in a month. No, that's really a franchise record what the Oilers were able to put together in the month of March. So that's pretty phenomenal. But I think the Oilers' March schedule was pretty packed in the month. And here's Broberg wiring the first shot towards the Oilers' opponent Phoenix Copley tonight. And of course, in typical Oilers fashion, it was blocked in front. So unfortunately for the Oilers, they're still shotless here with 9:58 to go as they'll battle around here the near side boards back to the blue line, and nobody's standing tall. So Vinny Desharnais has to regroup in the Oilers zone, get it back up. It's tipped in by the Oilers just last second to avoid an icing call. And this one will go back into the near side boards. And is that Byfield wearing number 55? I'm still trying to figure that out. I didn't get to see the lineups this evening, but I've seen some different guys on the ice rocking number 50s for the Kings, and I keep questioning who's actually number 55. I'm going to have to check the scoreboard for this one and just get final say here. 9:32 to go in this first period of play, and really nothing of substance yet to happen. You think about it, after the end of one, the the Canucks and Kraken are at a 2-1 hockey game. And just to give us an idea here, box score after one period of play, we don't even have highlights yet in this one, as number 55 is indeed Byfield. Okay, that's what I thought. I just confusing myself there, but so far not much out of anything from both teams, and Nuge is on the brink of 100 points. But friends, just what I want to say to you right now is I haven't had a chance to ask yet, but if you're new to Dolynny TV, I think particularly speaking, you've gotten a pretty good gist of who I am and what I am, and I'm just going to bump up my audio levels here a little bit more for you, as I see I'm peaking around that -20 tonight. Let's try and bring that up a little bit. I don't want to bring that up too high in case I yell about a goal, as you know I'm a little quieter tonight, so we'll try and play that off a little bit more, but I should be a little louder for you. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe to Dolynny TV this season, I definitely recommend you do. We're in it for the long haul now. Obviously, the Oilers clinching and making the playoffs. Last game out against the Anaheim Ducks, so we'd love to obviously do our job and go for a long playoff run. And I'd love for you to be a part of the playoff live streams. I know the only playoff live streams I've done so far are the ones against the Chicago Blackhawks. I did games 1, 2, and 3. Did not do game 4. I was getting my car fixed that evening, and you know what? It was very well and good that I missed that, because that was a very crappy way to end that season. And I'd like to obviously get a little shot at redemption here this year and be a part of the Oilers going deep. Did I live stream an Oilers game last season during the playoffs? Yes, I did. Was it the full thing? No. So are we going to be able to build the momentum this year? Probably. And we need to see the Seattle Kraken pick up their slack and win a couple games to end the season against the Vegas Golden Knights. Just checking the schedule there as well. And Sue, Sue, unfortunately I do have to talk and not show the game because the game is copyright, and I can technically get my channel either taken away or I can get sued for showing the game live on YouTube, as I do make money on this channel, so the conditions dictate what it is. My apologies if that is the case. But as we are going here, friends, we are just getting back to action after that commercial break. The Oilers looking to get something going here in this first period. Yep, without a shot halfway through the first period. Not like the Kings have much more. I know I've been saying that a lot, but the Kings only have 3 shots so far in this period, as this one's going to come into the Oilers zone, or Oilers offensive zone. Brett Kulak's leading the charge as he continues to wheel around the zone, gets it to the near side boards, as that'll be dumped down low to Bjugstad by Fogle, and now coming back to the near side, and this one continues to battle along the boards. Nothing happening yet, and the Oilers are not able to get anything going here in the offensive zone as of yet, as they continue to battle along the boards. And finally Kaliev will clear the zone, and the Kings will start back into the Oilers end with 8:42 to go here in this first period. So this is where we're finding ourselves right now, friends, is the Oilers yet to generate that first shot on net. They've had a couple of attempts where they've been blocked or missed wide, but the Kings with numbers back the other way. But that was a nifty pickup there by Klim Kostin to steal it back the other way. He'll fire it in deep into the Oilers' offensive zone, this time back behind Phoenix Copley, and they still can't manage a shot on net. Oh my goodness, this is nuts. As that one again will be blocked by the Oilers, who have blocked several chances for the Kings early on, specifically on that early first 5-minute power play in that first period. The shot save made by Skinner. There's finally a good look, and again it's from the outside for Arvidsson as it's pushed towards the front of the net. The Oilers defense pushing the puck around behind the net. Draisaitl whacked a few times before he clears it to the near side corner. He'll regain the puck and start coming back the other way. He's going to try and skate this one out, and Cody Ceci will carry across the blue line and bobble it. And this one will now go into possession for the Kings yet again here. 7:32 to go, 4-0 the shots for the LA Kings here. 7:27 remaining in this first period. And this one will go for a escape for Doughty in behind his own net. He's still trying to work it out from behind. Now Kempe is going to get it going back the other way. And that will be worked across the Oilers' blue line offside. So we'll have a face-off with 7:10 to go here. And Ace, to your comment about the Kings dominating, the problem is the Oilers have done so little that anything by the Kings would be considered domination at that point. This is where we're finding ourselves, right? Like I'm saying, the Kings have not really run the Oilers around. They've gotten 2 good chances that the Oilers bled and a couple good-looking shots from the outside, but so far the Oilers have done 0 in the column to really make an impact. And I guess, yeah, that's where you have to hand it to the Kings. They're controlling the game so far because the Oilers just yet to even drop the puck realistically. How about this, though? Nugent Hopkins leading across the blue line. He's going to try and get going. He's battled back by the Kings behind the net as the Oilers continue to battle in the near side corner, fighting to the front of the net. Again, the Oilers can't get it going. And this one's going to go back in down low. Evan Bouchard was taken down. And now we're going to have a penalty against Byfield. And a little extra happening is what Louis DeBrusque is saying, is Nugent Hopkins getting involved. Now Bouchard's getting involved. And hey, you know what? We just said they weren't doing anything. Well, now the Oilers are getting involved physically, and we know what happens when the Oilers get involved physically against the Kings. You usually go on a pretty hot tear for the next about 6 games after, and we only got 5 games remaining, so we're going to need it to happen tonight. As the Oilers will get a 2-minute power play here, and just like that, a turn in the action as Quinton Byfield will go to the box for a hit on Evan Bouchard. And Connor McDavid's pointing to the face-off dot. Giddy up, let's do this. As Evan Bouchard gets held up and tripped down by Quinton Byfield. Kind of a tug on the hip is what I'm seeing on the replay here, if they slowed it down enough for me. And then Nuge gets bumped up by Matt Roy. And it kind of goes back and forth between those two. So we'll see what ends up coming between these two teams. A tripping call up to Quinton Byfield. And you can kind of hear the LA Kings crowd. I don't know what they're yelling about, but they're yelling about something. The Oilers power play ranked 32.4% first in the NHL, while the LA Kings penalty kill is ranked 23rd, which is somehow worse than the Oilers, which seems kind of backwards, but it is what it is. So that's actually kind of incredible for us Oilers fans. So this one's carried across the blue line by Connor McDavid. Interesting to note if the Oilers get a power play shot here, as this one's going to go back, and a shot from the outside not coming from McDavid. Back to the blue line, possibly coming now Evan Bouchard. Bouchard will carry this one over to McDavid on the pass. McDavid looking in the middle, misses Nugent Hopkins in the bumper slot position. Now back to Draisaitl near side boards. He's looking to work this one off as he'll creep back down to the face-off dot. It's blocked in front by Gavrikov. Now Bouchard will once again load up. He'll go across to McDavid. McDavid skates it. He'll walk around, fire the shot. And that was another one of those sneaky side of the net shots from McDavid, as that one ends up cleared out by the LA Kings as soon as they realized where the puck is. And Evan Bouchard will get it back. The power play 1 for 5 in the last 2 games. Here's Leon Draisaitl. He drags to the backhand, can't get it going. Back now to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The LA Kings doing a good job defending here, and credit to them so far. Credit to both teams defending this one. As a shot towards the net, sticked away by the goaltender. I don't even think that counts as a shot on net, as the LA Kings have chased the Oilers back into their own zone, as Bouchard will come back to Matthias Ekholm. 4:53 to go here in this first period. The Oilers still without a shot, the Kings with just 3. Oh, nope, the Oilers have officially been credited with a shot on goal. Hip hip hooray, it's finally happened. Backhand to the front of the net, can't get it on for the Oilers. Shot fired out of the zone by the Kings, and that will do it for the penalty kill for the LA Kings. And I guess that's what you could call it, because it was not much of a power play for the Edmonton Oilers, as this one will be fired down by Nick Bjugstad. 4:23 to go here in this first period. The shots 3-1 for the Kings. And this one's going to be worked back as it's picked up by the Kings in the Oilers zone. Worked towards the front of the net, but I guess Nurse just erased the guy that would have been available. Shot save made for Stuart Skinner, and starting back the other way is Warren Foegele. He's going to chip into the middle of the ice. Never really got there because it hit a King on the way, and they're able to push it back into their own zone, pick it up, and get it going back into the near side territory in their own end. 3:48 to go here in this first period. We have 4 shots, latest into a game this season, registering the first shot for the Oilers. And guess what? We only have 4 total through more than 16 and a half minutes of a hockey game. That seems crazy to me, but that's kind of what we expect out of these 2 good teams tonight, is a lot of dump and chase. And that's where we're at, is this one's going to be worked back into the middle of the ice. 3:18 to go, as this one comes to the far side in the Oilers zone near the corner. Worked back to the side of the net. The Oilers still don't allow it to escape to the middle, and Stuart Skinner picks it up, and here's Yamamoto taking exception to the man in the crease, and Yamamoto looks at him and says, dude, I'm half your size, get out of here. Like, I told you to get gone the first time. Take a penalty if you want by suckering me, but not right now. As Connor McDavid gets it, yep, exactly, off the side of Copley again. Look at McDavid, he actually hits the outside of the side of the post. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a feature shot for Connor McDavid in the NHL playoffs, I will tell you that much. I'm going to throw you an ad here quickly. We're going to, again, for those of you that don't get the ad, I'm going to throw you this. If you're new to the channel, haven't had a chance yet to hit the subscribe button here on Dolynny TV, get it done. I'd appreciate that. I want you here for the playoffs, right? You see tonight, it's realistically a do-nothing game at the end of the season against the LA Kings, because we've already secured our playoff spot. All we're doing is battling for home ice in the division now. But definitely, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. And as we just kind of get things fired up to make sense of what the watch time's looking like here on the channel this evening so far, right? That start to the stream was really, really fantastic. And just to give you an idea of what that means for us, we're already at 92.7 hours watched as a whole here on the stream, which is absolutely unbelievable. And to give you an idea too, the stream is by far and above. I think, to give you the best idea, this stream in the last hour had 50 times the views I have had as my best hour in the past 48 hours prior to it. So that's pretty unreal to think about. Kind of sucks to say what happened up over the past week here, as I didn't really have a chance to post Oilers news, but it was pretty fantastic as well. And Trevor, I'd love to show you the live video, but unfortunately it is copyright, and I will make sure to remind everybody about that as much as possible, because as it is, I can't show copyright material, and the hardest part is I don't want to lose my channel doing so, so I won't. That's to kind of give it to you, but I will have the play-by-play for you. and we should be good to rock and roll here in this rest of this first period, as we should be ready to rock and roll. And Corb, welcome in. And let's get this going. Stuart Skinner face off to his left. Reflection in my eyes. I am sitting that close to my television this evening. In fact, my webcam is just over top of the bottom edge of my TV screen, so I'm missing about a 2-inch section of my TV screen for the Oilers broadcast. The shots are 3-1 right now in the near side corner. And let's go. Let's go here as it goes to the near side. And it'll be a shot fired towards. This one will be up over top. And that will go out of play. So with 2:41 to go here in this first period of play, we will have a stoppage yet again. So Draisaitl, after the Oilers got it down the length of the ice, will take the draw in the Kings zone. And Matt Roy is actually going to head off to the penalty box. Alright. Did I miss something? Thought that shot was fired up over top of the net. That was Matt Roy throwing Kailer Yamamoto into the boards. Kind of head first, but shoulders first. And so we will have a cross-checking call to Matt Roy, and the Oilers penalty or power play after getting one shot through 18 minutes will get it going here, hopefully to get their second shot underway, but we'll have a stoppage in play, and they will blow Leon Draisaitl out of the face-off dot. He's arguing. He's not impressed, but Connor McDavid comes in. McDavid with 21 power play goals on the season. He's looking to improve on that here, and it would be a huge goal to get, as this one's going to go to the near side, or far side point, as Bouchard will option it off to McDavid. The shot comes in. Shot number 2, stopped in front, scramble in front, got free, and it will be fired down the length of the ice with 2:25 to go here in the first period of play. $1:40 remaining in the power play as it's picked up by Evan Bouchard, who I must say, he has done a fantastic job for the Oilers so far on the power play. So we'll see if he ends up doing that here. This one will go down off a skate of the Kings. They'll clear it length of the ice. 2 minutes to go here in this first period of play. $17 remaining in the power play. And 3-2 the shots now for the Oilers and Kings. Yikes. That has got to be a new low in the NHL after 20 minutes of play for a long while. I do not know. I don't know how long it's been since the NHL had a 5-shot first period, but it has to have been a long time, as both teams just absolutely blocking everything in front. Draisaitl near side boards, gets back up to Evan Bouchard. Bouchard across to the far side to Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard fires the shot. It's blocked in front, of course, and this one will come back to the near side, cleared out by the Kings in the middle of the ice. And now Stuart Skinner will come out and play this puck with $1:12 remaining in this first period of play. And I'm thinking I might be done after this first period, to be telling you the honest truth, because I can barely keep my eyes open at this point. But it's definitely be much more of a game if the Oilers and Kings could get some shots on net, maybe a goal, anything to wake me up here in the final minute of play, as the Oilers have it in the Kings zone for the final 10 seconds of the power play. Second unit's on. Fogle back to the blue line to Nurse. Near side now to Ekholm. Ekholm fires the shot up over top of Copley. Doesn't even count for a shot on net. 38 seconds remain in what has been a paint-drying first period between the Kings and Oilers so far, as this one is going to go back to the near side boards again in the Kings zone. It's worked back the other way. Kings, Arvidsson stopped up at the blue line. Oilers able to battle it back to the middle of the ice. Evander Kane flips it in, and this one is pretty much going to wind down without any more shots on net in the final 10 seconds by the looks of it, as it's into the Oilers zone. Two players tangle up. I don't know what's going on here. And 2 seconds to go, and this will be the end of the first period. A 3-2 shot column for the LA Kings after one period of play, and for a team that can't get a lick of goaltending and can't play defense on the best of nights over the course of 70 odd games for the Oilers. they legitimately just had a period where the offense got completely shut down and the defense and goaltending were by far the best part of that first period. Jack Michaels saying if you're just tuning in, it's okay because you missed absolutely nothing other than two teams going to battle in the trenches and stalemating each other to nothing. That was a little bit of a wild go. I mean, honestly, how do you actually understand that? And Ace, we'll see in the third if I'm still alive. But that was um, that was a different feel, and I think Scotty, you're nailing it right there. Um, yeah, it kind of feels like a playoff game, and it just kind of has that vibe where both teams not willing to give an inch, both teams clamping it down, and I guess that's kind of where we're at right now. Is it's weird to say because for the Oilers, right, we're not used to seeing that kind of effort in the first period. And not saying it's a good effort or a bad effort. Um, it's kind of one of those efforts where um, you just don't see that from the Oilers any game. Um, this is just right, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. You can literally say one or the other and not be wrong. That's kind of the weird part, right? Because this is a regular season game. If this was playoffs, you're probably living and dying by every time the puck gets to the front of the net. And unfortunately, the problem is for the Oilers, you need to win this one. So for us, we're a little frustrated we don't have any offense. But I think too, as the Oilers, you're really glad you didn't give up any goals in that as of right now. But yeah, I guess to answer the couple of questions, um, right? It's is it a playoff feel, or was it a boring first period of hockey, or is it a good thing, or is it a bad thing? I make up your own mind on that one. I'm not going to tell you either way. Obviously, it's a low event first period. I think is the best way to describe it, right? Even though, yeah, there were some chances and stuff. Nothing actually was massive in that first period, and I think that's right. There was no big save from the goaltender. I think the best save of the period was Stuart Skinner's blocker save on Victor Arvidsson, and that came from outside the circle along the boards on a one-timer. I mean, if he's not stopping that, we got a problem right there. But just as we're saying, Nolan, welcome into the stream, as well. Mark, welcome into the stream. Ricky, welcome to the stream. And Sean, the reverse jinx, coming in nice on the Phoenix Copley shutout. We're a fan of that. And yeah, no, it's just really interesting to see kind of a first period like that, right? It's um, not something we expected, and somehow, some way, that's what we've gotten. And just so as you know, I want to go back through the game here because it's kind of crazy to think what the Oilers goaltenders have done. As far as I know, for sure, the Oilers goaltenders have yet to give up a goal in the past 140 minutes of regulation hockey plus. And why I say plus is you go here to teams and you look at it here and try to figure out what the Oilers have done in that last game against the Vegas Golden Knights when they last gave up a goal. That's the only thing we really got to clamp down and figure out is just figuring out kind of the totals against the Vegas Golden Knights here a few games ago. Right, it was a 7-4 final for the Golden Knights in that loss against the Oilers. And just to give an idea, I thought it was 7-3, but the Knights must have scored with no, somehow the Knights, never mind, I didn't realize the Knights scored 4 goals in that game. I thought it was only 3. So um, let's just go here. Okay, so the Knights did score with like a minute 05 remaining. Okay, gotcha. So the Oilers have not given up a goal in the past 141 and a half minutes of hockey that they have played. I think by any stretch of the imagination, that is probably the longest shutout streak the Oilers have had in a hot couple of years, to be honest with you. I don't remember back-to-back shutouts and then a shutout first period. So that's interesting to see there as well. And Jody, Jeffrey, welcome in as we are just getting things underway. as these are points we need. Yeah, that's the big thing. These are points we need, but I mean, they're the same points if you win 1-0, 6-0, or 4-3, right? As long as you win in regulation, it's all that it comes down to, and that's all we need. So, and guys, who's in net on the Oilers? It is Stuart Skinner in net, so he is now rocking 80 minutes straight of shutout hockey, so that's pretty fantastic right there as well. And as we're getting going, Zach, you're coming in blaming. I know we had that whole theme a couple live streams ago, and I just let that go. But yeah, right now, it's kind of interesting to see what the Oilers have just put forward for us here in this first period of play. I mean, did I expect this? No, but I think as well we were told that this is exactly what was going to happen for us. So we'll see if that's see what happens for the Oilers this evening. If they can get it going here in the second period, maybe, possibly, probably, maybe not. Who knows? And yeah, Jack, that's probably a good way to put it. Probably a good way to put it is just feel it out and see what happens in this first period, and then get to the real deal in the second and third. Dakota, welcome in as we're just getting everybody back in here for what will be the second period of play. We were actually carrying quite a heavy crew throughout that first period. I'll tell you, it's not very often on Dolynny TV that we can go through the entire first period with 100 plus viewers live at once the entire way through, and that's exactly been the case so far. I think I'm going to try and carry through this second period of play, but I don't think we'll get too far into the third period unless things are very interesting. But obviously I should probably head off for my own sanity after this first period intermission comes to an end and leave you just as we get set for the second period, unfortunately, because I don't think I've got much left in the tank, friends, as I'm pretty much cooked for it. So you know what, I'm gonna make a big mistake tonight. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make a big mistake because this is gonna be one heck of a hockey game tonight between the Oilers and the LA Kings. But as I leave you, I think my mission is complete for the evening anyways, as just to give you an idea of what we've done on the stream so far. You guys have been absolutely fantastic for me this evening. We've crossed over 100 hours watched and stuff, but I got to get to bed, to be honest with you. I've been struggling all week to catch up on sleep, obviously, since getting home. But friends, go enjoy the heck out of this one. If you don't have access to watching tonight's game, get on that 6:30 Ched stream. Get it going, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the way home. I'm going to can it right here in hopes that the Oilers do exactly what they've done every single game since I've gone to bed early on at night. But thank you for tuning in. It means the world to me that you showed up after this stream, or for this stream tonight, after a long week up in Cold Lake and doing my other business. But we'll catch you tomorrow. We'll recap it all tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon here, friends. I'm Tyson Dolynny TV, and I will catch you in the next one. Like I said, I know right here I'm making a real big mistake, but if we're going to make it far in the playoffs, I better rest up now, because there ain't going to be no time